Hi, I'm Max. I'm the creator behind Eat the Rich Art. I use he, him, and they, them pronouns, and I am at my last Pride Market of the season. This weekend coming. It's currently Sunday. I don't know the date, it's Sunday. My market is next Saturday on the 22nd of August. It's Warwickshire Pride. I've been looking forward to it all summer because it's one of the biggest events I've been accepted into this year, so I'm hoping it's going to go really well for me. And I really love doing prides because it's nice to be a queer creative trading at a pride rather than it being a bunch of people just kind of seeing it as another opportunity to capitalise, basically. Yeah, I have my opinions on what kinds of people should trade at prides, and yeah, I will leave it at that because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. So things are in the works. I do have another Pride restock episode in the works currently, in which I need to finish a couple more hoodie bears and a bunch of axolotls. The other thing I need to do is some UKCA testing. I've been saying for the past 3 market vlogs that I needed to do that. I do actually really need to do it this time because I'm so low on stock. The other thing I need to do is repack my bag because I took a bunch of my stock out of my bag because it was stuff I didn't have a good photo of or an updated photo of the colourways that I had, etc. So I need to put all of that stock back in my bags now I've got photos of them, and I also need to update my Ko-fi store with the new photos and the new stock numbers and all of that. Speaking of stock numbers, I do need to do a big actual inventory check because I've not done one of those in a little while. I did a brief overview just to check I had everything on my spreadsheet for Leamington, but I didn't actually check my overall stock numbers, whether it was on my Square or not, whether it was on Square for the right price, whether it was on the Ko-fi store in the right number of things. So this week's job is to go through and make sure that all of my places that I record inventory are the same. So in that case, iPad's at the ready, big stock bag's next to me, all of my Pride stock's over there, so I'll grab it once I've done the big stock bag. I'm just going to get on with it because I have friends coming in like 2 hours, so I need to get this done now so that I can get it packed up and out of the way in time. I do have a big bag of stuff that hasn't been tagged yet as well. That's probably not going to be a today job. I'm probably going to wait until I've got everything made that I want to get made so that I can do it all in one big go and invite some family over to give me a hand with that, because my auntie really loves using the tagging gun, so I will give her another opportunity to do so. And my mum has really nice handwriting, so I'll probably get her on writing the tags for me. But yeah, so that will be done later in the week. Making things is going to be the main slog this week, but that's not for this vlog, that's for a different vlog. All of the admin bit is for this vlog. So I'm sorry if you get a load of boring computer time. That's the reality, I'm afraid. But right now you're going to get a look at me going through my stock bags, taking things out, recording them, etc. On with that. Hey, popping in because it's Thursday, so I thought I'd give you an update on how I've been doing. I actually got my testing done. Big cheers for me in the comments, please, guys. That was so hard. It took so much out of me physically. I pushed through, I got it done. So that is 8 to 10, I think, somewhere in there. More patterns that I can add to my rotation. Which I'm really glad about because there's some patterns in there I'm really excited to make more of. Can't just yet, because I'm still working on stuff for this weekend, obviously, but yeah. The Ko-fi update is nearly done as well. My partner's working through that for me. So he's just adding the last few bits today. He won't be able to add anything I get done today or tomorrow, for obvious reasons. But if it's only 1 or 2 listings, I can do that. It was just the amount that I had to do that was putting me off doing it. So I bought him some games and he's doing my Ko-fi, and that's the compromise we've made. So that's done. So tonight I need to do some boring laptop work, getting the UKCA videos edited together. I don't clip anything out of them, it's just that, like, because I bulk test multiple things in one go, I just have one video of all of the burn tests, not necessarily one by one. Well, the first round of burn tests, and then obviously second round's a different video. Same with, like, soaking them. If I can fit multiple in the sink, I will do multiple soaks together. So yeah, it's just making sure that every video has the right clip from a different video in it, basically. And then all of the documents as well. So that's tonight's job. I'd also like to get a couple of penguins done. I don't know how far I'll get with them if I've got to do boring laptop stuff, but I've also got 2 cats made. I'm gonna put earrings. I'm gonna put ears and clothes on them tomorrow, because my mum, my sister and my nan are coming to help me get the last few bits done as far as tagging and the last bits of crochet and stuff goes. So I'm gonna let them get turtle flippers done for me tomorrow, clothes for cats, and maybe the head caps from the penguins, but we'll see, as well as my tagging, so that I can focus on the bits that I need to do, because none of them are plushie makers. My mum's very new to crocheting still, and my sister and my nan only make flat crochet things, so I'm basically just leaving anything that's flat crochet to them, and then I can do any of the actually making plushies. So I'll be making turtle heads and bodies and directing them as to what tags need to be on what and which ones need stickers with age warnings on and all of that stuff. So yeah, that is the plan. The other thing I need to do that I forgot I needed to do was I'm out of sticker paper and I need to order more. Otherwise we may just have to cut some pieces of paper out or Tipp-Ex over parts of the tags. We'll see. Whoops. Probably should have ordered more of that. The other thing my mum's going to do is print some Jerry the Ghost stickers for me, who is my character I made when I was a teenager, who's a little ghost that waves at you. He's everyone's friend, unless you're a dick, then he's not your friend. And I have him in loads of different pride colours. So the other thing I need to do tonight is open up my plain Jerry sticker and make a lesbian one, because that's the one flag I never made when I was a kid. I have every other flag. I just forgot the lesbians, so I need to make a lesbian. So that my mum can print all of them for me. Yeah, that's everything to update on tonight, I think. I might do a bit of time-lapsing of me doing boring laptop time. I might not. You'll see in the next clip, I guess, whether I decide to. And then, depending on whether or not I time-lapse things tomorrow, I might see you Saturday morning. I might see you tomorrow. I'm not sure. So, either way, I'm going to sign off for now. I'll see you in a bit. It's Saturday morning, it's 6:30, I'm knackered. Things to do before we go. Breakfast. Try and get clothes done for the wizard cat. Pack the car. We'll see how well that goes. My rucksack is also not packed, so I need to do that. So I'll just see you again at the market because I need to get on with things. Oh, yesterday, I'm going to start making tea while I'm here. So, you can reuse dirty mugs, it's fine. Yesterday, my sister and my nan made me a granny square each. You probably like that, so why did they make granny squares? Why didn't you put them on something for this market? So I'm trying to be quiet. Quite frankly, it was because my sister asked if I could teach her how to make a granny square, and I went, I do actually need something with a granny square for a couple of markets time. So, do you want to just do that? And she did. And then, basically everything I suggested to my nan for her to do, like the tagging and some other stuff, she was like, no. So she ended up with a granny square as well. Because it was a lot easier to have 2 things going than 3. With teaching my sisters to do the granny square, I put my mum on wizard cat capes, but she only made 1 out of the 2. And then put me there. Hang on. You're getting a lovely view of me, by the way. Where's my spoon? That's my spoon. Well, making things. Yeah, she made with the cats, and then helped me with tagging. So the vast majority of the tagging's done, just not much else. And then she forgot to bring the crochet over, so we didn't get to make any stickers. So I went over then in the evening to make stickers, which I will try to show you once we're. Oh, I'm covering the camera. I'll try to show you once we're at the market. But anyway, I'm rambling. I need to go on with things. See you in a bit. Hello. Yet another walking vlog in Leamington. Because we got all set up. Well, not even all set up. We got pretty much set up. And then I realised we'd left our float at home. So I have had to walk to the post office to get a new float out. Luckily I had the money in my account to do so. But yeah, so I'm now heading back to the tent. There's a zorbing area. That's interesting. And an Iron Man bouncy slide. Have discovered I'm directly opposite another crocheter, which I'm not particularly happy about. And there appears to be some more. Oh, they're pom-poms, that's fine. Pom-poms is okay. But yeah, I'm not particularly happy about the placement of the other crochet. I'm nearly back at my store now. Nor am I particularly happy that we're near the 3D printing stuff. But we will find out how it goes. Okay, right. I'm going to talk loud so I'm over the copyright music, but here is the setup. We have the normal stuff table plus the buy and pan stuff because it didn't fit on the main table. The main table has the rest of the Pride stuff on, including the new stickers. Hello, new stickers. Let's move I confuse people over. We have a bargain bin, partner stuff, partner, and then all of our key rings and some more plushies are over on this side. And that's it all done. Right, hello, I'm checking in, it's loud. I've finished the wizard cat, so he's done. I'm moving on to the next one, which will be the lesbian flag tabby cat. Cross fingers I get him done today. It's so busy, I'm not sure I will, but we will see. Alright, I'm back on. I'm going to speak loud to get over the music. We've finished a second wizard cat. So both of them are done now. This needs to go on the table. I'll see you back at home. Right, here where we are at finish, as you can see. It's empty as fuck, boys. It's so empty. I gotta go bring vehicle over. But Jesus Christ, guys, we have done so well. And I have so much to tell you when I get home. Good day, good bitches. I'm home. It's Sunday morning. I'm knackered. Yesterday was crazy. I have... Oh, thank God, where is it? I've got my cup of tea. I've got my hot water bottle, because... Ow. Everything, ow. I've counted my money. So that needs to go to somewhere I can put it in my bank account at some point. Not today, though. I can't go out today. Yeah. I have all the stats on what I made yesterday, but it got so crazy at one point that my partner was taking sales for me as well. And while I think I've recorded most of those, there might have been one or two that I missed. So I could do with doing an inventory count, comparing that to my Square, doing all of the stats onto my iPad, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that needs doing. That needs doing. The other thing I need to do is make a wish list of the ways I would like to upgrade the business, because yesterday went well enough that I can do some pretty significant business upgrades, which is nice. So I also need to make a plan of that once I have the final numbers of what I made, and profit and all of that kind of stuff. Part of it does need to go into savings to go towards my car insurance for next year, but I can do some things for the business that I'm very excited about. I'm going to try and keep a good chunk towards some yarn, because I would like more yarn at some point. I'm trying to use what I've got currently, but I've got a couple of commissions that will mean that I do need to buy more yarn. And also a lot of the stuff I've got at the moment is blue. And a lot of different blues, but like, I don't use blue a lot, so some other colours would be nice to go with the blue, so that I've got motivation to use the blue. I don't want my whole table to be blue. I'm rambling now. So I'm going to do an inventory check. I'll probably stick you on the thing where the video goes fast while I do that, and then I will be back with stats. And I've also got my cousin's coming today to pick up that turtle that I made like 2 months ago. She's finally able to come get it, so I may have to pause for that if she turns up mid-task. But yeah. And then the rest of today, I'm chilling, man. I've got 2 Granny Square book sleeves that my nan and my sister started that I can finish off. And I might make a 3rd one, because I've got an idea for the book market, which is my next big market that I'd really like to do. But to do that I need some more book sleeves. So anyway. Yeah, let's go on with it. Okay, so I've gone through my stock and I have 2 B keychains that are unaccounted for. I have a B keychain and a whale keychain that I think were just put through as the wrong flag because I've got a buy B remaining and my stock counter said I didn't have any, and the same as I have a pan whale remaining and my stock says I shouldn't have any. So I think 2 keychains have been put through as the wrong flags when they've been put through. I then have 2 Bs that are just completely unaccounted for. I have a rock golem that's unaccounted for and a spider that's unaccounted for. So what I'm going to do is count all the cash that I've got, take off my float, what I've accounted for on my square in cash, and then what my partner's accounted for on his square as cash, and see if the amount of cash we have remaining matches the stock. Because if it doesn't, then we've had some thefts. And if it does, then it's just that we forgot to record stuff because it was such a crazy day. So I'm going to do that now. Like all the maths now, and check in with him. I think his stock is still in the car, so we might have to grab that out and then do it because we were so tired yesterday that we didn't unpack anything. I have my stock bag out because I knew I'd want to do this morning and probably wouldn't want to go outside. So I got my stock bag out, but everything else is still in the car. So we'll see. We'll count for things and see what happened, basically. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'll be back to let you know. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some thefts, and if we did, it's only tiny items. Like I think the spoo spider is the biggest cost there, and that's £8. So in total, the ones that I have that I've not got recorded anywhere is £22 worth of stock. 4 items. So yeah, it's sort of little things. But yeah, anyway, maths I'm going to go and do, and then I'll be back with you for stats and things. Okay, I'm back. I think I did have some thefts. It's odd because I do remember selling a rock golem. I think I only had 5. Let me check my... I'm going to check, you know. Check my spreadsheet. 4, yeah. I remember selling a rock golem, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if I just didn't record it, but I'm confused. I'm quite confused. I don't know if I've just done my maths wrong, but yeah, I'm perplexed. Because we got some tips as well, and we're still lower than we should be. Unsure, honestly. Weirdly, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine if we did have some thefts, because I did make quite a lot of money yesterday. So £22 worth of loss is like, it happens, you know. It was a busy market. So we're missing 2 B keychains, a rock golem, and a spider, and they're not accounted for in the cash at all. So not really sure what's happened there. This would be my first theft ever, if that is the case, which I'm quite lucky about. But yeah, it sucks. But oh well. Yeah. Right. Gonna go do updates on spreadsheets and store and things, and then I will be back with stats. So I'll see you in a bit, because I need my phone and my iPad simultaneously with different things open to be able to do it. So I'm going to stop recording, and then I'll be back in a little bit. Hello. I rejoin you with numbers. I can't do anything about the fact my voice is going. I'm really sorry. I will try and get through this. I also join you in relaxed mode. Like, we're not even in business casual, we're just in. We've gone past casual. Because if you can see behind me, this is my nice long big hot water bottle that is currently against my spine, and then I have another one on my hips. Because big owl, many owls happening in the house tonight. So if I seem like I can't form sentences, or I shift around in the video, or there's a lot of cuts, it's because owl and brain not in building. So here we are. To recap the things. I'm sorry, I'm trying my best. Bear with me. Also, it's going to be a little shaky cam, but I will try my best to stabilize it in post. But I apologize in advance for the shaking. I've had to put the tripod actually on the sofa because I couldn't get it close enough to me on a table for me to actually be properly visible, and also be able to look after my back and my hips and try and deal with the fact that they're hurting. So I'm apologise. Let's get on with it. So the market ran from 10 to 5. We were open to customers, but the actual parade wasn't meant to get to the park until 11, so we were expecting it to be quite quiet from 10 to 11, or 10 to whenever the parade gets in, because anyone who's been in a pride parade knows that they never get to the final destination at the time planned. I remember once I was in the Birmingham Pride Parade, and that took 3 hours to get from the start to the end. Because of delays and stopping and starting for traffic and various things, because we had a rolling roadblock, and yeah, it was a situation. Luckily, the Leamington Pride Parade didn't take as long. I think it took about an hour and 20. They left their start time at 10, and then they got down to us for about 20 past 11. So I'm going to run through the sales. You'll see that we get to about 20 past 11 and it goes from trickle to holy fucking airball very quickly. This was an insane day. So that's what happened there. And then we closed at 6. But my final sale was actually just after 6. I wasn't there for it because I'd gone to obtain a vehicle to take us home. But my partner was at the stall packing down as I was fetching the car. So he sold something for me while I was gone, but we'll get to that in a moment. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm all over the place. The brain is fogging. Like, if you imagine a horror film out on like the moors on an early winter morning, that's the amount of fog in my brain right now. But here we are. Where did we get to? So we didn't even start. That's where we got to. So my first sale was at 10:15 to one of the volunteers. They came over and they asked me about a Demogorgon because they'd seen them on Instagram, and I had to go, I'm really sorry, like, I've not actually had the chance to remake them, but message me and we'll sort it. So hopefully they do. But they saw that I had my clowns out, and they saw my giant blue and white clown and really loved him, so they bought him for £20. Then, so that was at 10:15. Then we didn't make another sale till 11, but that was fine because I was running around like a headless chicken trying to get the table finished. I was just trying to make sure that it was perfect, basically, because we have a problem where A, I am really bad at overfilling my table, and B, whenever we have both my stuff and my mum's stuff and my partner's stuff out, my stuff will go insane and people won't even look at my partner's and my mum's stuff. So we tried this time having them blended together. So my mum's Pride stuff was dotted in with mine, and then all of the keychains were together, so mine and my mum's were on the same rack. And then it was just my partner's stuff that was separate, because he's not really got anything that's the same kind of vibe as ours. But his table was directly next to my table, like there was no gap between it. It looked cohesive. So that helped a lot, I think, with making sure that my mum's stuff and my partner's stuff really got eyes on it. That was really good. But it took so long to set up and make it look like really nice and really cohesive. I forgot to put my stickers out until like 5 to 11, so they went out. What else? God, I was tagging the penguins, I was trying to get the wizard cats finished, and like I was all over the place for that first hour while I knew it was quiet so that I could faff. And because I knew that the second that parade hit us, I wouldn't have a second to stop, so I made sure that all of the faffing was done that first hour while the parade wasn't there. But it was quite nice, because the good thing about Leamington is no matter where the event is, whether it's the Pump Room Gardens or it's up on the parade or whatever, you get so much just natural traffic, just passing trade, I think it's called in the business, I think, where people were heading around the area anyway, and then they see that there's a market on and go, oh, we'll just have a mooch while we're there. So we were getting a few people looking through that first hour, even though the parade hadn't hit yet. So that was really nice. Then obviously there was people who weren't necessarily able to do the parade, because an hour of walking very slowly is a lot of standing and stopping and walking for someone who's not necessarily very able to do. So there was a lot of people just milling around the park waiting for the parade to hit, who were there specifically to greet the parade rather than taking part in it. So yeah, lots of lookers during that first hour. But yeah, so we then at 11:05 sold a chunky possum to one of the people who was just kind of looking around and waiting for the parade to get in. At this point we're like, when is the parade coming? When is the parade coming? And a couple of other vendors who've done the market before said to us, once you hear the drums, get ready. Oh, the other thing I was laughing at was the person bought the jumbo clown at 10:15, and then luckily they paid on card, but I went, where's my float? Because I've got like a fake leather bum bag that I put my money in. It was not in my rucksack, it wasn't in my stock bag, so I was like, I have left my float at home, already paid for parking, and home is going to be like an hour and 10-minute round trip to go and get it. Luckily I had enough money in my account, I could just go, there's a post office about a 5-minute walk up the road. So I managed to get myself there, get the float and get back. But I had to sit down for like 25 minutes after that, because I'd got myself in such a tears, and it was a walk uphill as well, so like my hips and my knees were burning from the walk. I was already in a lot of pain at the start of the morning. It was like, thank God I bought my own set of camping chairs. So we had comfy chairs, and I'd bought my jacket, so I sat on my jacket so it was more padded, and oh my God, guys, I was hurting. But yeah, so having to run and get a float was not pleasant, but I'm glad that having that hour before the parade hit meant that I could go and do that, and that wasn't a problem. But yeah, so then, where are we? 11:05. 11:20, the parade hits the park, and we heard it coming. We heard the shouts as they went past of what do we want, trans rights, when do we want it now? That was going past. The samba drums were going. It was so loud, and they went sort of around the back of the park and down where the stage was, because the way that we were facing was that, so the parade runs sort of here, the park's kind of here, and then there's a path that goes around the back of the park, and then the stage was like there. So they came in at the bottom of the park and then walked back up towards the parade. The parade is a road in Leamington, so they'd come down, the parade had to come down the parade and then around the back of the park, is what I'm trying to say. So we heard them going past us at the back, and we were like, God, that is loud. So that was at 11:20. At 24 minutes past 11, shit hit the fan for us, in a good way. Right, so we've got the Achillean Pride Cappy sold at 24 minutes past 11. Then Jack's the Rabbit sold, and I wish I'd made a few more, but I didn't have the yarn to do it, so I do need to get some more purple and dark pink yarn to make some more Jackses, because the second that he got spotted, they've corrected the pronouns, the second she got spotted, she sold. And then we had a few people come by with Amazing Digital Circus like merch on, and I was like, oh, I had a Jax, but it sold. And they were like, oh, have you got any more? And I was like, no. So I probably needed like 3 at least of those, but I only made the one. That was also 11:24. At 11:30, I sold a non-binary bee keychain. At 11:40, I sold a rainbow bee keychain. Then I sold something with my mum's at 11:46, and during this time there's people talking to us all of the time. We had friends that came by, there was customers in and out of the store. It was busy, guys. So we're at 20 minutes since the parade hit, and we'd already made 2, 3, 5 sales in 20 minutes. And it just kept going. 11:46, I sold an Achillean Beans the Frog and an Ace Bee keychain. 11:46, I also sold a mallard to a different person. 11:47, I sold my one remaining squishy octopus. 11:49, I sold a lesbian capybara. 11:57, I sold a rainbow cappy and a lesbian whale keychain. At 11:58, I sold a rainbow whale keychain and a biaxolotl. Also 11:58, to a different person, I sold a rainbow bee. So that's like... So the parade hit at 20 past. So in 40 minutes, I'd made my table. And that was an expensive table. That was £100. So at this point, me and my partner are just shell-shocked already. 40 minutes and we're just... What is going on? We're rushed off our feet. We're smiling so hard our cheeks hurt. We're chatting to so many different people. We're like, anytime we got a second when no one was looking directly at us, we were just sort of looking at each other like, what the hell? This is crazy. But it continues, right? So that was 11:58 with the rainbow bee. And that was the vendor who was next to us. God, they were lovely. They helped us get our gazebo up. They helped us get it in place. They helped us get other things sorted. They lent us some of their tent pegs because they had better tent pegs than us. I bought us some new ones that are more reinforced than the ones that came with the gazebo, because it was just the tiny thin ones that came with the gazebo. So I bought us some like proper thick heavy duty ones, but they're still the ones you have to stamp into the ground. My partner stepped on one, immediately bent it, so they were like, do you want to borrow a few of ours? We've got so many. And they have the ones that drill into the ground, so they can get them in really quick no matter what weather it is. I'm getting a pack of those and a drill for the market bag because that will also make download so much quicker as well. The perk, honestly, of being like download goers as a genre of people, but also people who do outside markets, is that pretty much anything I buy for the markets is also useful for camping. So it's multi-use, which means that I can sort of justify in my head spending a bit more money on good camping stuff because it's useful for both situations. But anyway, yeah, they were absolutely lovely. Got to about 12, they could see that our tent had been packed for that hour. So they ran in, grabbed one of my rainbow bees, essentially threw £4 at me in cash, because I know you're low on cash, I'm getting it before it sells out. I was like, that's probably a really good plan, thank you so much. And then ran back into their tanks. They were also really busy. Like a drive-by whale purchase. Bless them. They were great. I love them so much. 11:58 that happened. 12:04. We're still going. Like, at this point, the biggest break between purchases we had was 10 minutes. And anyone who watches this regularly knows that I count about a 20-minute gap between sales as fairly decent sales. So yeah, right. Where'd we get to? 12:04 then. An ace whale keychain. 12:09. A lesbian bee keychain. 12:10 I sold more of mum's stuff. 12:16 I sold a bi-axolotl. 12:18 I sold one of my penguins, so I'm really glad I rushed to get those done. 12:33 I sold my big Quinn the Clown, the pattern by the Velvet Full Fibres. I sold my pastel one that had the ruffs on its neck and its wrists. At the same time, they bought an non-binary Beans the Frog and an Arrow Sea Slug, so that was a £51 purchase. 12:40 I sold a Trans Beans and a Bi Hoodie Bear. Also at 12:40 I sold a Bi Beans to someone else. 12:41 I sold a Pan Beans the Frog. 12:42 I sold a Trans Hoodie Bear. 12:55 I sold a Trans Capybara. And then I sold something else of my mum's at 12:57. What the hell? What the hell? So at this point, we're at 1 p.m, so we'd been open 3 hours. First hour had been quite slow because, like I said, the parade hadn't hit yet. The second that parade hit, we had a purchase pretty much every 10 minutes, if not multiple within a 10-minute period. It was shocking, genuinely shocking. And then I was about to say after one it slowed down a bit, but it really didn't actually. So I'll keep going with the speed read. 1 o'clock, dead on 1 o'clock, I sold a rainbow axolotl. 1:03 I sold a spoo spider. I think that was a red one. 1:07 I sold some more of my mum's stock. 1:08 I sold an ace axolotl. 1:18 I sold a Youngblood sticker. Also at 1:18 I sold another one of my stickers, but it was one of the B grade ones, so I hadn't actually put them in my square. I didn't realise I hadn't put them in my square, so I'm not entirely sure what that was. I think it might have been one of my autistic and angry stickers, but that was £1. Okay, 1:18. 1:19 I sold a Arrow Capybara. 1:20 I sold a Luma Star. 1:26 I sold a non-binary Hoodie Bear. 1:29 I sold another one of my clearance stickers. I think it might have been a pansexual Jerry and a pan bee keychain. Then at 1:30 I sold 3 of my stickers. I think this was a Hot Gaze Use Mobility Aids, a Lesbian Jerry and an Arrow Jerry, if I remember right, because I don't have it written down because I did so well at that. I need to add those onto this. At 1:37 I sold a pansexual bee. At 1:40 I sold a bi-axolotl. At 1:44 I finally sold my strawberry bunny. So much of the stuff I've had for ages went this weekend and I'm so happy about it. That person, oh no, that wasn't the person that nearly bought something else. I'll tell that story when I get there. So that was at 1:44. At 1:45 I sold my non-binary Cappy. At 1:46 I sold my jumbo reindeer I've had since Christmas. At 1:49 I sold a drift octopus. 1:50 I sold a trans whale. 1:54 I sold a bi whale and a gay hoodie bear, an Achillean hoodie bear. At 1:56 I sold a Dan sticker and a Phil sticker. I love that every time anyone spotted that I had Dan and Phil stickers, they bought both of them together. It was really cute. That was at 1:56. At 1:57 I sold a hot dog pup. At 2, we're at 2 now. Again, I was about to say it slowed down, but it didn't really. So at 2:02 I sold a non-binary axolotl and some of my mum's stock. 2:04 I sold the dragon I've had since the book fair in February. 2:10 I sold another set of Dan and Phil stickers. 2:11 I sold more of mum's stock. 2:15 I sold a trans axolotl and a lesbian whale. At 2:18 I sold a rainbow whale, an ace cappy and a trans bee. And then 2:29, so that was like the first time since 11:30 that we had a 10-minute break, and even then there was people in the stall the whole time. So 2:29 I sold a non-binary whale, a pumpkin bat buddy and one of my partner's prints. 2:30 I sold an arrow Beans the frog. 2:35 I sold my non-binary T-Rex and an MB axolotl to go with it. 2:39 I finally sold my celestial bunny, my forest themed one, and that person did also nearly buy the lesbian wizard cat because I was working on it, so they nearly came back. They came back when I was like very nearly done with it. I had one ear and I just needed to sew the other one on. I said, if you want to wait, it's going to be about 5 minutes and then I'll have the second ear done. And they were like, oh, that's tempting. That's very tempting. But they didn't end up buying the lesbian wizard cat. In fact, it's still with me, which is good because it means I can film what I made this week and scrap the clips that I filmed at the market because there was very loud copyrighted music playing the whole day, so I probably shouldn't use those clips. I should probably refilm them at home. But yeah, they did nearly buy the lesbian wizard cat, but didn't in the end. They did buy the celestial bunny at 2:39. At 2:43 I sold a lesbian beans. Also at 2:43 I sold a spoo spider to a different person. Then again, we had managed to have a 10-minute break, just about. 2:55 we sold a potion bottle. And when I say we had a 10-minute break, again, there is still constantly people in the stall. I think we got 2 or 3 minutes here and there that there wasn't anyone. So, still like constant interaction, which was very tiring. So yeah, 2:55 a potion bottle. 2:56 a buy Beans the frog. And then we're at 3. So again, it's slowing down in the case that we're getting about 10 minutes between purchases, but it was still just constant rush all day, pretty much. So at 3 I sold some of mum's stock. 3:03 we had a Achillean whale keychain. 3:10 a trans whale keychain. 3:12 a non-binary beans and a lesbian beans, a frog. 3:13 a pan hoodie bear. 3:15 a pan axolotl. 3:16 a pan axolotl. 3:21 a trans hoodie bear. 3:27 one of my penguins. Where did we get to? 27. So then again, the biggest gap we have had all day at this point, 20 minutes. The biggest gap we had all day up to 3:30 was 20 minutes. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So 4:45 I sold trans bee keychain. 3:51 I sold some more of my mum's stock. 4:03 I sold a buy bee. 4:04 an ace axolotl. 4:05 an ace beans the frog. 4:11 rainbow beans the frog. And then again we managed to have like 25 minutes break, which was very nice. And we sold a rainbow hoodie bear then at 4:37. At 4:56. So again, we're getting like It's trickling a bit more now, but we were so thankful for it at this point because we were so tired from the like 3 hours, 4 hours of constant people in the booth that we were like, those 20-minute gaps were like bliss, honestly. And that's not something I say often. Quite often we have a 20-minute gap and I'm like just sort of waiting for the next purchase, hoping that someone will make the purchase kind of thing. But when we got 20-minute gap at this market, it was like, oh, thank God. Face off. Just relax a bit. I was still also desperately trying to get the 2 wizard cats finished. But yeah. Because I think I finished the second wizard cat at 3:30. So that was how busy we were, that it took 4.5 hours for me to sew hats, capes and ears onto 2 cats. Crazy behaviour. Anyway, where did we get to? 37 we sold the hoodie bear. 4.56 we sold Pancappy. 4.57 I sold a By Bee. 5.08 I sold an Ace Whale. 5.11 I sold my standing possum that's like this big, that's from Dolly's crochet shop. And they, bless them, they'd given me a 20 and the possum was 15. And I'd sort of like offhand, sort of just to myself, made the comment of, oh, I'm getting a bit low on 5s. And they just came back and gave me the 5 as a tip. I was like, oh, thank you. That was so nice of them. But yeah. And then 20 minutes later, at 5.33, I sold a Transaxolotl. 5.42, I sold my emo clown, Glinda clown. 5.49, I sold a By Whale keychain. And then at 6:30 was when I put the By Cappy through. It sold a little bit before that. So pretty much up to the end of the market, like 10 to 6 being my last sale actually off the market, we were selling things consistently every 20 minutes or less. That doesn't happen for me, man. This is insane. I'm sold out of so much stuff. I managed to reduce my stock from my 2 big bags down to 1, and there was room in the 1 bag. I managed to get I took 2 bags that had like all of the projects I actually needed to finish in it, reduced that down to 1 bag. So I went home with 2 less bags than I came with. That is crazy. Like, it was so nice packing the car to come home because we had so much room in the car. It was nuts. Genuinely nuts. I think I had my worries at the start of the market when I'd gone to get the float, because I don't tend to really look around before a market starts because I'm often really busy just making sure my table looks right, filming content, doing all of that kind of stuff. I didn't even get any photos of how our gazebo looked this weekend. I got the 1 clip for this video and a bit of content for Instagram, and that's it. When I went to get the float, I sort of had a little look up and down our row, and the other crocheter that was there was directly opposite from me, and I was not happy about that at the start of the market. I don't know for sure if there was any other crocheters there or if it was just the 2 of us, because I really didn't get the chance to look around. I was like, you're telling me there's like 70 stalls at this market and you've put me directly opposite the other crocheter? What the hell, guys? But honestly, she had, and she won't mind me saying this because she said it herself, she had all of the like generic stuff that everyone makes, and all of it was batch made, and she didn't really have anything Pride on her stall. She had some like rainbow bandanas, but her plushies were all normal colours. So she had the loaf cats, like fat frogs. She didn't have leggy frogs, she had fat frogs, but they weren't Beans the frogs. She had some hot dog pups, but they were done, I think, in the Crochet Customs pattern, or maybe Aloe Crochet's pattern, whereas I used Crafty Chalice Crochet's pattern. So we had different hot dog pups, and I only had the one, whereas she had quite a few. She had the cheeky turtles with the butts and the removable shells. I think they were the Rift, the octopuses, the smaller ones. Lots of different things. We didn't really cross over animal wise at all, let alone patterns or anything. We all had different things. I had Drift, she had Rift. As far as octopuses went, we had different hot dog pups. I had my wizard cat, she had loaf cats. I had Beans the frog, she had a different frog pattern. That was the only real crossovers we had. I'd gone all out on Pride and she'd stuck with her normal stock, so it was fine. We had no like problem at all with people buying from me and not her, or from her and not me. No one came into my tent and said, oh, I've already got crochet so I can't buy any more. And from what she said, I don't think she had the same comment either in her stall. The other thing I was a bit annoyed about was I was directly opposite as well. So she was literally opposite me, and then straight opposite there was like a girl selling t-shirts. She was slightly to the side, because the stalls on the other side weren't on the same like grid. They were slightly offset, so she was one of the ones that was straight opposite me. 2 stalls up from that there was a 3D printing stand, and I usually end up near a 3D printing stand, and that usually means I have kids coming up to me and saying, oh, but I can't have something off you because I've already got something from the 3D printer, or I can't have something off you because I've already bought from a different crocheter. That was not a problem at all at this market, honestly. I think from the looks of it, all 3 of us did really well, but there was no competition at all. There was no one who didn't buy from me because they'd bought from one of those stores, which was really nice. After like market after market of knowing that I've lost sales to another crocheter or to a 3D printer, it's nice to like just not be worried about them at all. So I really do recommend, if you're going to a market as a crocheter and you know there's going to be another crocheter there, really specialise your stuff to the market, genuinely, because I see so many people at so many different markets where they clearly just bring the same stuff every market and they don't bother to specialise it at all, whereas I really try. If I go to a book market, I'll take whatever stock I've got left from other things, but I try and make sure I've got some dragons that look like dragons from books. I do my Winnie the Pooh hoodie bears. I've got my Reading Bee pattern. I'm trying to write another reading animal pattern myself, but we'll see if I get time to do that, honestly. But I really go down the bookish, plushy route. And then if there is another crochet there, we don't tend to cross over, because if they've specialised for the market, they'll have had different ideas on how to do that than I did, or they'll be going generic and they won't have specialised, in which case we have different things and we're not fighting over customers as much. So that's my tip. If you're a crocheter going to a market and you're worried about crossover, yeah, specialise to the market. It helps a lot with sales. But yeah, so I was a bit worried about that. I did have a few customers come into my stand and complain about the amount of like slop that was there. Whether that was like AI stuff or Temu resellers or 3D printing, where they were just a bit like, so annoying that it's just generic crap. Like, it's really nice to see that you're here because it's a Pride festival kind of thing, which I try. I try my hardest. to make it clear that, especially with Pride markets, that I'm going there because it's my community and I'm excited to be there, and not just because I want to make money and I just see it as another market. Obviously, yes, making money is nice, but it's more from a point of I want my community to have things that are nice, that are pridey, as a queer person myself, rather than them having to buy Temu slop. But yeah, it's interesting. It seems to be that they separate like the artists from the slop stands a bit though. Like there's two different zones, and a lot of the sloppy stands are up in the other zone, whereas the artists are down in the zone I was in. But yeah, so it's interesting. It's all very interesting. But we got to see a couple of vendors that we've seen around before. That was really nice to see them again. And yeah, it was just a really chill, lovely day. Everyone was lovely. The staff was lovely. The volunteers were lovely. They couldn't do too much to help you, kind of thing. Like, they were, I phrased that wrong. I mean, like, is it they couldn't do enough to help you? Where, like, the second you go up to them and they're like, yeah, what do you need? Like, anything. Like, what can we do for you? Are you okay? Are you good? Like, at the end of the market, I really needed a wee, and sadly they'd already pumped out the porta potties, but they got on the radio to try and see if there was any porta potties that I could still use, and sadly the answer was no, but like, they really tried to get me to a toilet, which is nice of them. We had them checking up on us through the day every now and then, and other vendors would come and check up on us as well because they knew it was our first time there, so that was really lovely. Again, our vendor neighbours were fantastic. I'll try and link them below if I can track down their Instagram. Jilly June Crafts, who recommended that we sign up for this market, came and checked up on us a load of times. We love her so much. She's really fantastic. She really sort of took us under her wing, which is really nice. But she came and chat a few times and made sure we had everything we needed. So big thank you to her for even recommending that we do this, because holy moly, it was crazy. I don't think I have any other stories really to tell, so I will get on to just going through, because you can tell from that I sold a lot, so I'm going to tell you which things I sold out of. I didn't end up putting any of my wearables or my accessories out, so it was all plushies that were out apart from the stickers. So I didn't sell any of my fidget toys. They did go out on the table though. I sold 13 out of 18 of my keychain bees. I sold 12 of my whales. I sold my Jack's rabbit. I didn't sell my Bronto. I sold 1 out of 2 of my Celestia bunnies. I sold my Lanky clown. I sold both my Quinn the Solemn clowns. I sold my reindeer. I didn't sell either wizard cat. I sold 9 out of 10 of my capybaras. I sold my dragon. I sold 7 of my hoodie bears. I didn't sell my impling. I sold both my penguins. I sold my strawberry bunny. I sold 1 out of 5 of my drifty octopuses. I didn't sell either of my ghosts or my hammerhead shark. I did sell my hot dog pup. I sold 1 out of 2 of my mallards. I sold both of my possums, both the standing one and the little chunky one. I sold my potion bottle, my T-Rex. Didn't sell my star buddy. I did sell my octopus. I didn't sell my spider. I sold 13 out of my 27 axolotls and 12 out of my 22 Beans the Frogs. I didn't sell my Boo Bear or any of my turtles. I've still got my Flower Pal, I've still got my frog, and I've still got my Woolly Mammoth. I did sell my Luma Star. I still have all 3 of my mushrooms and my Patchwork Bunny. I still have both my puffer fish with me. I sold my pumpkin bat. I sold 1 out of 5 of my rock columns, though really weirdly I didn't record that on my square at all. And once I've added up my cash, I don't think I took it in cash either, so I'm not sure what happened there, because I do remember selling a rock column, but I don't know. Honestly, I've got that situation as well with the Spoother spiders where I've not got any left in stock out of the 3, but I only remember selling 2. So I think I might have ended up having some thefts, because I've also got 2 bees unaccounted for that I didn't sell, my partner didn't sell. So they're not in my stock bag. I don't know what happened to them, but honestly I don't mind too much. I sold 1 out of 2 of my sea slugs. Like I said, the spoo spiders, I've not got any left in stock, but I only sold 2 out of 3 of them as far as I'm aware. My stickers actually sold this time, so the ones that did sell was 1 of my autistic and angry stickers, 2 of my Dan Howell stickers, 2 of my hot gaze use mobility aid stickers, 1 of my aromantic jerrys, 1 of my lesbian jerrys, 1 of my pan jerrys, 2 of my rainbow jerrys, 2 of my Phil Lesters, and 1 of my Youngblood stickers. And then the ones that I didn't sell was Gerard Way, I Confuse People, Ace Jerry, Bi Jerry, Non-Binary Jerry, Achillean Jerry, Trans Jerry, my Pride is a Riot sticker, my Toast Bath sticker, and my 21 Pilots Ribcage sticker. And none of my trans rights packs sold either. And I'd made a bunch more specifically for this market, so I don't know. I don't know if I just didn't display that very well. Transactions, I had 81, though that does include 3 vendor trades. So actual purchases, I had 78. 18 were cash and 56 were card. That doesn't add up. That should be 60's card if 18 were cash. I'm not sure what's happened there. And yeah, my costs in the end were £247, which does mean I have a good amount of money to reinvest into the business. I'm gonna really work on my table layout, get some better shelving that's easier to put up quickly, get some better weights for my gazebo. I want a generator, I want some good tent pegs, and I'm going to buy a bunch of yarn. I'm going to try and use some of the yarn that I've got available first and make room for nice yarn, but I'm buying a bunch of yarn. I'm going to do a really big Elise Volute order because I want some more of that in different colours, and I'm going to really treat myself to a bunch of yarn smiths as well. And maybe some more benign cat colours, because I would like to make some different cat patterns, because I'm thinking of maybe doing a cat convention next year. And yeah, that's the plan. So that's everything. This is a 43-minute wrap up, so this is going to be a long video. I'm so sorry. I bet my phone's about to die as well. So YouTube things, please like and share the video, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and hit the notification bell if you'd like YouTube to tell you when I upload. What do I upload? I upload what I made this week videos every Monday between 12 and 2 UK time, and I upload market vlogs, market prep vlogs, yarn reviews, pattern reviews, crochet challenges, stash busting, all sorts go up on Fridays. There may be some occasional Wednesday bonus videos in the next few months because I have too many backup videos now from doing all of this market prep. I've been vlogging all of that, so I want them to come out in a timely manner because I also want to do some Halloween prep videos, so they may be going up as bonus Wednesday videos over the next few weeks. And yeah, if you would like to buy any of the things I have left, my store is linked below. I need to go through and unpublish the listings that I've sold out of. But that will be probably a tomorrow job. I just got my store back up to date. Now it's out of date again. My next market will be the Bedworth Small Business Fair on the 5th of September and the Birmingham Book Extravaganza on the 12th of September. Those are my 2 September markets. And I'm not booking any more events for September now because I did 3 in August and it has wiped me out physically and stock-wise and mentally. So yeah, we will see. But that is everything I have to say. So thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.